Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. The COMEX has big problems. Let's explore. Remember that I did a video about the glut of gold recently here that has come into the COMEX here. And this is a follow-up article sent to me from Chuck and Plata. Very interesting indeed here. This is an opinion piece here from Investment Research Dynamics. And it says this article from Bloomberg that was published a few days ago, which alleged that New York gold traders down in a glut. The COMEX is now reporting there's 26 million ounces of gold in COMEX vaults, 17 million of which is in the eligible account. This is up from the 9 million total ounces at the end of March, 5.5 million of which was, quote, eligible. The author finds it amusing that the mainstream media swallows the COMEX data reports without fact-checking or insisting on an independent audit of the bars. So there's another school of thought that where that's the case with the gold at Fort Knox. There should be an independent audit and a transparent audit of those too, I feel. Ronan Manley of Bullion Star published a research piece in which he dug up a letter from the CME to the CFTC, which stated that the CME believes the deliverable supply of eligible is 50% of the reported number. That's if we take the CME's estimate prima facie. The world was told 6 weeks ago that it was impossible to transport gold bars overseas, and a scheme was rigged to make London gold delivery bars, which are 400 ounces, available on a fractional basis to satisfy COMEX deliveries at the option of the party taking delivery. But the bars were to remain in London. Suddenly, the COMEX found several million ounces of gold in its warehouse stock report, bars that were unaccounted for and supposedly sitting in London vaults. In all likelihood, the 17 million ounces of gold added to COMEX vaults is a product of double counting bars in London. Ooh, man. I know many of those reading this might find this to be conspiratorial, but it's been long acknowledged that the LBMA is running a fractional bullion system. Well, and that just goes to show you that, we know there's a lot more paper contracts for both gold and silver that are accounted for. But we can't really say exactly how much, although U.S. Debt Clock claims to be able to count those numbers. That said, assume the 26 million ounces of gold are real, discount the 17 million eligible by the CME's self-admitted discount factor of 50%, and that leaves 17.5 million alleged gold ounces available for delivery. But the gold contract open interest is 510,000 contracts, or 51 million ounces of paper gold, in relation to the 17 million ounces of gold that may be available for delivery. It's highly misleading, and probably intentionally misleading, to call the supply of gold in New York City a glut. So yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, it's interesting. You dig a little bit and you find things like this. I really do think there should be more accountability for sure here. Add to this deceptive Bloomberg article a report from Reuters that CME banks are pulling back from the COMEX. To begin with, HSBC attributed its $200 million hit from gold trading to its London operation. The article also claims that 400 tons of gold have been shipped to New York City despite the narrative in April that gold couldn't be moved from London to New York. I surmise the movement of gold is digital based. As Bill Murphy commented, not Bill Murray, we were told there's trouble getting gold to New York. Now they're saying there's too much. Don't believe any of it. They are scared to death about something. Yeah, so what do we believe? And that's what starts conspiracies. Whenever there's lack of transparency and or there's confusion about what's going on. If it's a complex situation, that's what leads to conspiracies being out there. And I want to be very cautious and careful about giving into anything as such, but also not discounting that there might be a possibility of some shenanigans going on there. There's a big problem at the COMEX, and that's why the bullion banks are pulling away from it. Scotia Makata is closing its precious metals operations. You remember I posted a video about that a few weeks ago, months, and taking loss to do it. Makata Bullion has been in operation since 1684 and was one of the largest operators on the COMEX in gold and silver. I'm not sure it's even credible to say that the bullion banks are pulling away from the COMEX. The gold open interest was over 800,000 contracts, 80 million ounces of gold earlier this year. The banks have been working hard to reduce their open interest and short exposure. That much is true. But historically, the open interest on the COMEX for gold has ranged between 200,000 and 400,000 contracts. In that context, how can a drop in an OI to 500K contracts be considered pulling back? Since late 2019, August, the activity in the COMEX has been what many of us consider strange, if not engulfed with the scene of desperation. The fractional 400-ounce gold contract and the two articles discussed above are a few examples out of many. Recall that CME introduced the pledged gold category back in October of 2019. Pledged gold is just another form paper derivative gold. HSBC jumped on that designation immediately. We find out a few months later that HSBC had impaled itself on its gold trading and custodial activities and required the pledged gold designation in order to meet the collateral requirements as a clearing member of the CME. As with the fiat currency fractional banking monetary system, the bullion market in London and New York City has become a fractionalized system of derivatives and other forms of paper gold, leases, hypothecation. In fact, rehypothecation has occurred. That was a big deal several years ago. They talked about that, kind of remelting down gold bars to make them seem like they're new, and lending and backed by a tiny amount of real physical gold relative to the amount of paper claims. This fractional bullion system is crumbling on its core, and the propagandist articles like the ones above being disseminated through the mainstream media are a reflection that something is seriously wrong at the COMEX. And, and again, we don't really have real proof. This article really doesn't give actual proof until we see receipts, until we see ledgers and the thing like that. We really don't know. But this is an interesting thing. It raises some good questions for sure. And so it's worth looking into for sure. And the bottom line is this: if you don't have possession of the gold you think you own, you do not own it. The world will eventually understand why that assertion is true. But, I'm not saying, in fact, I know several in the community who actually do dabble in the electronic markets, the exchange traded funds for gold and silver, and it is convenient. It's never really tested because what people do is they cash out. And when they cash out, they don't cash out in money like gold and silver is money. They cash out in currency, dollars. The dollar is the most liquid asset in the world. 60% of the world uses dollars for transactions. But gold is a tier 1 asset, and it is definitely money. And there is exchanges made with gold in the international community between central banks. Again, as I said, the Bank of International Settlements designated it April last year as that tier 1 asset, putting it above and on par with the dollar as a liquid cash. And so there is that. Bottom line is that even if you do dabble in the electronic markets, in fact, SLV and exchange traded funds were quite attractive when silver was trading at less than $12 an ounce back in March. But the thing is you may have made a little bit of money there. You may have taken that opportunity if you cash out. But what happens if the silver that backed it is not available, and you're just trading paper for the sake of trading paper or electronic methods without nothing really backing it up? Hence, why the gold standard may not work. And this article, I think it might be key to it, because you have to have gold to back up your currency. And the exchange traded funds and that we see, they're not. How many people have faith in the actual backing up of any amount of SLV or GLD out there? Not many. In fact, I think most probably would admit that there's not enough silver and gold to back up the amount of those things that are out there, because humans get involved and it becomes corruptible, and a gold standard can be corrupted as well too. But we'll see. It's very interesting to see, and that's one reason why I don't think we'll go to a gold standard anytime soon, even if the dollar crashed. But we'll see how it plays out. But nonetheless, I believe the COMEX has big problems, not necessarily because of the reasons in this article, but for the same reason why Fort Knox and has problems: lack of transparency. Let's say that this stuff is conspiratorial, and the question is being raised, and let's say that they are double count. Let's say that they're double counting or what have you, or not double counting, and every allegation of this thing is false. Well, there's enough out there to cause question, and so it's understandable that people would be concerned and lack of faith in it. But the thing about it, when it's all said and done, gold itself does not lie. It cannot lie. It is what it is. It exists because of its very being. Its intrinsic value transcends epochs. It transcends empires. It transcends nations. It transcends ideologies. It is what it is, and it will be what it will be for now and into the future. Gold. It is something to behold. It is something to hold. And when you have it, you know you have something of worth. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again to Chuck and Plata for sending along to me. I want to encourage you to stay tuned. Every single day I do post a video. If you miss a video, I know some people sent me articles for videos that I posted just the day before, and so they must not have gotten a notification of that video. So I encourage you to go back to the YouTube channel page, maybe bookmark it and come back and check for a video there every day if you're not getting the notifications. Doesn't hurt to click the notification bell, and make sure you have it activated on the device that you watch videos on mostly. And there you have it. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.